From the north side of the San Francisco Bay to Singapore, welcome to Urban X Real Talk Fitness Radio with your host, business owner, lecturer, author, master trainer, Tiaja. With over 30 years of experience in the health and fitness industry, he will challenge the fitness between your ears. So prepare your mind, body, and soul for the revolution of self-care, the evolution of fit, with real talk about real people, real health, real fitness, and the real deal behind our present illness culture. Real talk every time, all the time. Get weekly insights on how to shift your thinking, emoting, eating, training, hydrating, goal setting, and resting for you, the everyday athlete. You can cheat your fitness, but you can't steal your health flow. It's Tuesday, 9 a.m. Let's flow.
Religion is the opium of the people, so said Karl Marx. Welcome to Urban X Real Talk Fitness Radio, where we challenge the fitness between your ears. I'm your host, Tiaja. In our inaugural episode, I shared a famous line from the Charles Dickens classic, A Tale of Two Cities. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Now, I contend that this juxtaposition is real. Perhaps it has always been real, but never before like it is today. No doubt, the internet, social media, and conventional news has had a profound impact on our reality. People no longer know what to believe, who to trust, or if they will ever trust again. Many have completely given up hope, and far too many have lost their joy. And there's no need for a major research grant to prove what is empirically obvious, and that is such ambiguity has had grave consequences on the mental and physical health of Americans. Consider this. We are living in a time where medical miracles exist alongside century-old diseases like cancer. We are living in a time where nearly 71 millionaires are created every hour in America, while 1 out of every 7 children will be born into poverty. A time where the same medical procedure can cost significantly different from one side of town to the other. Now, we may accept this kind of blatant price gouging from gasoline merchants, but why would we accept them from the medical professionals? How is it possible that in the richest country in the history of the world, more people abuse drugs than any other nation in the history of the world? Perhaps it is because, as both dictionary.com and Oxford Dictionary have informed us, we are living in an age of toxic misinformation. At the beginning of the broadcast, I read you another famous quote from Karl Marx. If you are one of billions who believe in religion in particular, it should have something very specific to say to you. But even if you're irreligious, the statement itself is profound. Of course, the implication here is that religion is used as an escape from reality. It is anesthesia, a coping mechanism for dealing with the harsh realities of life. So it got me to thinking about our present-day reality in America. In October of this year, President Trump made a declaration about opiate abuse in America, calling it a national health emergency. It didn't receive much press because all the press was leading up to the Kavanaugh hearings. But in case you missed it, here's a snippet of what he said.
Because we can have all the blue ribbon committees we want, but if we don't get tough on the drug dealers, we're wasting our time. Just remember that. We're wasting our time. And that toughness includes the death penalty. You know, it's an amazing thing. Some of these drug dealers will kill thousands of people during their lifetime. Thousands of people. And destroy many more lives than that. But they will kill thousands of people during their lifetime. And they'll get caught and they'll get 30 days in jail. Or they'll go away for a year. Or they'll be fined. And yet if you kill one person, you get the death penalty or you go to jail for life. So if we're not going to get tough on the drug dealers who kill thousands of people and destroy so many people's lives, we are just doing the wrong thing. We have got to get tough. This isn't about nice anymore. This isn't about committees. This isn't about let's get everybody and have dinners and let's have everybody go to a blue ribbon committee and everybody gets a medal for frankly talking and doing nothing. This is about winning a very, very tough problem. And if we don't get very tough on these dealers, it's not going to happen, folks. It's not going to happen. And I want to win this battle. I don't want to leave at the end of 7 years and have this problem. Okay? I don't want to, right?
Now that's some tough talk. I've never heard a president drop the mic like that. No wonder the press didn't want to cover it. And the few news outlets who did cover it slammed the president for essentially vilifying the small street criminals, not the major dealers. But this isn't a political channel, so I'll move on from here. But before I do, what do you think? Is President Trump being too harsh on the small criminals, or is all the tough talk just another political red herring? Let me know what you think in the comment section on our Facebook page at UrbanX Real Talk Fitness Radio. Anyway, religion is no longer the opium of the masses. Opium has now become the new religion. Today will be just another day unless you decide today that it won't be. It is Tuesday, December 11, 2018. Let's flow.
Oxford Dictionaries revealed the 2018 word of the year, toxic. A video posted to their Twitter account explains, quote, "This year more than ever, people have been using toxic to describe a vast array of things, situations, concerns, and events, ranging from health and the environment to politics." According to their site, Oxford's Word of the Year is chosen by extensive research programs, which gather nearly 150 million current English words from online publications monthly.
In 2018, we need to be talking about misinformation, because misinformation is what is guiding people's choices, behaviors, and actions. There's been a lot of misinformation about what's happening around the world, and it's creating a lot of chaos.
It's only through looking at the challenges that our new technologies bring to society that we can really address them. We can't sweep them under the rug. We have to look them in the eye.
There really is a fundamental problem with information on the internet these days. We have to decide what we as a society want our information ecosystem to provide.
Weaponization, falsity, is something that we will probably, in retrospect, look back on this moment as a defining feature.
Misinformation is a perennial problem. Since the days we could speak, right? We can also lie. And since the days we could lie, we could fabricate, we could create new stories. What changes is the technologies that emerge.
In the era of social, we have platforms that are built for virality. This is what they're for, right? It's to help people get a message out.
The information also just keeps coming. So you don't just hear it from one person, you hear it from multiple sources. And so it gets to that whole illusory truth effect, that if you hear a piece of misinformation enough times, you start to believe it's information. I really got into debunking health myths online because of what I'd heard my patients bring to me, things that they'd read that were completely false. I believe we've gone past the age of information and we are stalled in the age of misinformation.
It's a huge problem, it's a huge problem when you're trying to get people to vote, and there's been an effort to tell people misinformation, telling people that polls close at 5, when in fact they close at 8, or telling people that the INS or ICE will be at polling places. These are things that we've seen in the past in isolated situations. We're seeing much more common now.
Climate change is happening right now. It's affecting people right now. We're seeing hurricanes, massive wildfires during seasons when it's not normally wildfire season. That's really dangerous to have that type of misinformation shared commonly and have them pretend that science is lying. Climate change doesn't care how you vote. It doesn't care if you're a Democrat, doesn't care if you're Republican or if you're independent. It affects everybody.
When we talk about things like race, a very salient kind of idea and organizing principle in our society, that's based on misinformation. It's based on the idea that people can be classified by the color of their skin. And the way that we understand race in this country is that the closer you are to white, the better you are, and the closer you are to black, the worse you are. That is all based on faulty science that people adhere to and get taught from the minute that they're born.
One of the more unnerving things to realize is that there don't seem to be any consequences. There's no reprisal, there's no reputational harm. Falsity has now increasingly been woven in to the fabric of what political discourse looks like, which makes it harder and harder for the citizens to sort out what the fact base is on which they base their judgments about policy and about social directions.
The way that I try to approach it is I try to give people good skills. I try to show people how they can learn to look for information, where they should go, which I believe are reliable sources. So I think it's really important for people who do have the knowledge to extend their privilege and put their hand up and say, okay, I'm an expert. I'm going to put down these truth markers for you so you have this as a starting point.
To be a source of good information, you have to have integrity. You have to be somebody that people trust. You have to be someone who people know they can go to get the real. And it's exhausting, to be honest, but it's important.
The best way to change someone's mind is to be empathetic and to do it one-on-one. Reaching out and saying, hey, I saw you shared this. I think that actually you might want to look at this other source too. I don't think that this is quite the way that source is reporting it out. Gently convey that what they've shared is perhaps not the most accurate.
And so we're in this interesting moment now that gives me hope, which is that people are building tools, processes, principles, standards, and new ways of interneting.
The most powerful political work is one-on-one conversations with people, because somebody can confront you immediately. That's not true, or prove to me that it is true. I was going door to door in Tulare, and I came to a door. I'm trying to get people out to vote, and I said who I was in Spanish. He said, well, tell me why you're here. Why is it important for me to vote? And I did my best after this exchange we had. He said, you know what? I'm going to go to vote, and I'm going to go to vote because you asked me. I'm going to go vote because I think it's important for this community. I found hope in that.
The people going into journalism now are terrific. They are conscientious. They are truly motivated by a desire to serve the public and to engage and to sort of make the world a better place.
I am hopeful when I see the amount of grassroots activism happening across our nation. It's so inspiring to see folks take that sort of power into their own hands and work with their own local officials.
We have a lot more work to do, and that gives me hope. It makes me feel like we can do it. We're not small, we're not marginal, we're not tired, and in fact, I would say we're just getting started.
Now here are my 2 cents, and feel free to keep the change. We are undoubtedly living in a toxic age of misinformation. Like many of you, I find this new trend to be highly disturbing, but I find the word of the year, misinformation, to be even more so. Why? Because it's one thing to give misinformation regarding events. That's bad enough. But the misinformation we receive from the pharmaceutical industry and the medical industrial complex is literally killing hundreds of thousands of Americans each and every year. This is where I would love the president's focus to be smack dab on those institutions that are supposed to assist us with healthier living, yet instead are destroying our trust by colluding with other institutions whose only concern is profiting off of illness. Of course, there is an opiate crisis in America because people want to anesthetize the ugliness of life, and the doctors who get paid exorbitant amounts of money to prescribe opioids are willing to do so simply at the request of their clients. After all, it's not the illegal opioids that are killing hundreds of thousands of Americans each year, but the legally prescribed ones. This year I shared heart-wrenching stories about people who have had their opioid prescriptions filled nearly 1,000 times. So when did the doctor or the pharmacist or the healthcare provider think enough was enough? Apparently never. See, somewhere in this healthcare chain of command, someone has to be held accountable. The easy answer is the person themselves, and I completely agree. I also agree that an obese person is complicit in being overweight, but I can't fully blame them either for their health condition. Why? Because I know that no one wants to be an addict to sugar or opioids or shopping or gambling or anything else. No one signs up to be addicted. But this is what I also know. When billions of advertising dollars are spent each year to create consumers, which is a polite way of saying addicted to spending, then those same advertising dollars target children with animations and bright colors and cute songs, then I can't fully blame the addict unless we want to play make-believe and pretend that's not what advertising dollars are for. There is a lot of misinformation out there, and there will be a lot more. After all, the word of the year, misinformation, is only 1 year old. Imagine what will happen to the minds and the hearts of people when it learns to walk, then run. Dear friends, I wish above all things that you prosper just as your soul prospers. You've been listening to Urban X Real Talk Fitness Radio with your host, Tiaja. We'll be taking a well-earned break over the next several weeks, but we'll return Tuesday, January 8th, 2019 with our brand new look webpage and some super hard-hitting information about your body that you can't afford to miss in the new year. I guarantee you it will empower you to take your health to that next level in 2019. But in the interim, we will be replaying some of our most requested episodes from 2018 so that you can continue to train the fitness between your ears. And for those of you who can't get enough health and fitness but are looking for more of a spiritual examination of health and fitness, then make sure you check out our new podcast and YouTube channel and website called Training the Temple at www.trainingthetemple.website. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, Snapchat, as well as all of your other favorite social media, and show your love and support by hitting that subscribe button or download our app at tiajae.podbean.com. Also, check out my latest YouTube channel titled T's Uni-VERSE and its podcast titled T's Reverse. We'll be taking a break, a small hiatus from T's Uni-VERSE as well for a few weeks, but we'll be bringing you cutting-edge information and hot topics through the T's Reverse podcast. Make sure you check out our upcoming shows about men and women relationships. Do men lie and cheat more, or do women just lie and cheat differently? And is there really such a thing as cheating? You'll definitely want to join us for this hot debate coming to T's Reverse in 2019. Finally, don't forget to stop through our flagship website at www.urbanxfitness.net, where you can find our online stores, the Urban Experience Fit Stores 1 and 2. There you can download our unique home and gym workouts, dietary menus, as well as purchase some outrageously bold teas and spark your own revolution of self-care. From there, head over to our small library of my hand-picked, personally endorsed nutritional products. Okay, got it? Okay, then get it. We at Urban X Fitness want to wish you and your family the most joyous Christmas and a happy New Year. We love you and thank you for making 2018 an incredible year. We can do it without you. Till next year, as always, walk in health and peace.
Square.